Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. We got three people here. We're gonna wait at least a few more minutes to give some other people a chance to get here. It looks like we got myself, ATC, and all the question marks. So, excuse me one quick. Ah, Woody's here, but his avatar is blank. Hello, multiple question marks. Mike, toys. Hey, Woody. There we go. Now it went. I guess now it went. Finally came. Yeah. So how'd ever and I do appreciate all the likes and shares, guys. It helps get the algorithm up and also helps um see if we can get some more people in here. So glad to see you all here. Um that said, we're gonna just wait a few minutes to give some more people a chance to get in before I get started. Just a heads up, I only have four stories tonight, but of course one of those stories figure we're going to probably be spending quite a bit of time on I'm going to, that's going to be the lead in story, the Vic story. So, and, ATC saying, hey, Woody. So, how'd everybody's day go today? Anything exciting happen for you guys? I'll be right back. Let's see. Nothing for me. Just another day at home, huh? There, ATC. Slow day. I spent some time watching jury selection in the Minneapolis case. Oh, you talking about the George Floyd? I guess that's finally going to court. George Floyd case. Um, I mean, it is Hump Day, so it's like it's the middle of the week. Yeah, out here in California, we did have some. We out here in Southern California, we did have some rain today. So early this morning, like basically last night, um, and then some more this afternoon. So now it looks like we're back down to three. So yeah, so I guess let's see. Slow day. I did watch. Of course. Well, you guys. I don't know if either you were there. I know Batgo, Leto, and Solid all were in on Tug stream last night. I went by there as well. Um, so let's see what CCC has. Yeah, just staying home, relaxing, 3D printing. Um, Stands for my He-Man figures. After that, I have over 50 left to print before I can put most back on the shelves. That's quite a bit of a project there. So I know Tug streamed last night, and that was pretty cool. Good to see him on again. And that's actually going to be the lead story tonight on my stream too. I'm going to be looking through the Bounty in the Comics article on it, and I watched his video this morning on it as well, Tug's video on it. and then rewatched it prior to starting the stream. So we'll probably talk quite a bit about that tonight. That's one of the stories that will be on tap for tonight. Couldn't quite explain it, always just gone there. Mm-hmm. All over the church floor. Couldn't quite explain it. They'd always just gone there. So we keep bouncing back and forth between 3 and 4 people watching, it looks like. And we do have a lurker, but that's cool. As long as you have a chance to watch the material and everything, that's probably cool. Excuse me a moment. I'm going to be right back. Let's see. Yeah, we're at the 7 minute mark. So probably around the 9 minute mark, I'll probably go through just what's on tap for tonight, then get into starting the articles. As I said, only 4 stories for tonight. All of them are from Bounding into Comics. So chances are I might take just about as much time as normal when we go through the CBR articles. Um, yeah. Just waiting on to see if we can get some more people in here before I get started. Ah. Once there was this kid who got into an accident and couldn't come to school. And when he came back, his hair had turned from black into bright white. Couldn't quite explain it. It always been there. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. Give me one more moment. Sorry. Both and boy were glad that one kid had it worse than that. Did She-Ra get a breast reduction? I don't know about that one. uh, probably, actually, I think I did see a picture where it did look like that. Hmm. Maybe Toys has the answer here. The new She-Ra got hit an uglier stick. Yeah, yeah. I love the She-Ra of the '80s Filmation's original She-Ra. Melody Britt doing She-Ra and Adora's voice among a few others, including Katra. That was a pretty good crew too. Um, with Melody Britt, George Senzo, Linda Gary, Loose Schemer, or Scheimer, or Scheimer, who's Scheimer, I guess, and Erica Scheimer's daughter. Um, okay, so we're past the 10-minute mark now. All right, so I guess I'll mention. I think she was redesigned for the Hollywood pedophiles. Uh, oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Anyways, so what's on tap for tonight? So the lead-in story, of course, is going to be the Vic Mignogna story. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through the Bounding in articles, art, article on that, or Bounding into Comics article on that. Of course, you guys know that Tug did a stream on it and did a video on it today. So we'll probably talk quite a bit about that. Also, in other news, TMS Entertainment made some announcements in regards to release dates and stuff. We'll go through that article. All the articles today we're going to be going through are from Bounding into Comics. So, um, Camilla Zhang, who had been the campaign manager for Scott Snyder's Kickstarter, has apparently stepped down, and Jim Steranko has gotten himself into some trouble, I guess. So we'll be going through all of that. So without no further ado, let's go ahead and into the get into the articles here. And here we go. So let's see now. He said, sorry, I shouldn't say that word in your chat, but she looks like she's around 14. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Anyways, moving on. Vic Mignogna removed from guest list for 55-year mission tour Star Trek convention. The article is by Spencer Cooley. I know Tug had some interesting things to say on it as well. So let's get into this. It appears that the campaign launched by Star Trek audiobook producer Emmett Plant to have Vic Mignogna removed from the guest list for the upcoming 55-year mission tour Star Trek convention has been successful, as the former Dragon Ball Super voice actor is no longer listed as a special attendee on the event's official webpage. So, prior to March 10th, the 55-year mission tour's official website proudly boasted that the convention would feature 104 incredible guests, with Mignogna being the 104th invitee. Following such Star Trek icons as William Shatner, William Shatner, who played Captain Kirk, Michael Dorn, who played Worf, and Armin Shimmerman, who played Quark on Deep Space Nine. So, yeah, and that is kind of a prior to March 10th. So today is of course March 10th. So here 100, and then here's, I guess, from the page itself. 104 incredible guests so far. Just added Dr. David Williams, Ronnie Rowe, Noah Averbach Katz, Alexander Siddig. Alexander Siddig, who originally was known as Siddig El Fadil, was the guy who played Dr. Bashir on DS9. Armin Shimmerman, Quark from Deep Space Nine. Kitty Swink, Roxanne Dawson. Now, Roxanne Dawson was the one who played Delana Torres on Voyager, and Vic Mignogna, who we know his work on Star Trek continues. According to his profile on the convention's guest list, Mignogna was invited due to his role as executive producer and voice of Captain Kirk from the web series Star Trek Continues, and would have appeared in the vendors' room throughout the convention for autographs. And then here's, I guess, from the site, Vic Mignogna confirmed yes, and then yeah. However, Mignogna's name and profile have since been removed from the guest list. As of March 9th, the 55-year mission tour now exclaims that there are only 103 incredible guests set to attend. And you see it right here. Following the changes made to the 55-year mission tour website, Plant announced to his Twitter followers on March 9th, breaking! Vic Mignogna is no longer listed as a confirmed guest at on Creation Nt's website for the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. I'm sure this jerk off is real proud of himself too. I'm stupid, boy. See what you guys are saying before I continue on with the article here. Let's see if you guys said anything since. It looks like no, you haven't. Wow, now it's only reading that I've got only two viewers here. Oh, hey, did you guys leave me or what? Look better sue their rear ends off. Yeah, that would. Yeah, I mean, again, and I know Tug talked about that too. It's like he kind of was questioning or wondering how Las Vegas. Well, actually, um, that's not as much a defamation case. That's a breach of contract case. Um, so, of course, you do kind of have to wonder how. You have to kind of wonder how Vic is feeling about that because that's people like Emmett. He's a jerk. We all know that. According to Plant, Mignogna's removal was not only a result of his public effort to drive critics, particularly those who identify as members of the Kick Vic, to pressure the convention into dropping Mignogna, but also the work of friends behind the scenes who did their thing. Something tells me this guy wasn't getting enough attention, so he decides to pull this stunt. Well, I know that's also what Tug essentially said. Well, yeah, he's gonna dump on Vic for clout, which is true. I mean, like many of people in Kick Vic, they're a bunch of attention whores, and now they're getting what they want because we're all like talking about these people again. Don't seem like very. It does seem like the very definition of torturous interference. Yeah, I do kind of wonder where Emmett Plant lives. What state he lives in, just simply because wonder what the you know the like the torch, like the defamation laws are like in the state he lives in. So might be very interesting to see, and he knows that they might come after him legally too. But but again, though, I think part of the reason why Vic isn't jumping on a lawsuit yet is because we're still waiting on, the lawsuit. That, Grant, I know Tug talked about how that one judge, Judge Shupp, screwed Vic basically in his ruling. But we're still, of course, waiting on the appeals ruling. So there's still hope that the case will continue. Granted, it may be very slim, but maybe maybe we should. Of course, Nick said that he'd let us know if anything came of that, but I guess we're still waiting on that. I know. Speaking of which, the appeal is now 6 months old, or about a week from it. Yeah. Apparently, that court issues statements on Thursdays. So that is tomorrow, maybe. Well, hopefully something comes of it. Hopefully they. Now, Grant, I know that. We can't really say for certain what, but hopefully they'll do the right thing and they'll move the case forward. And Vic will get some justice out of this. You know, because one of the things it's gonna take is success in court to for this kind of garbage to stop. People need to be like, in these situations they need to be getting sued. Emmett needs to be sued here because it's the only way that they're gonna stop. The only way they're gonna stop is only way it's going to stop is if these people start getting sued and start suffering the consequences of their behavior. And then I guess Plant follows up here. I don't want to name names, wrote Plant, but I will definitely and unequivocally state that if this is a victory, it's because of the ladies. Yeah. And I know Tug has been talking about, it's kind of funny how these people are going after Vic for the little things that he does when many of them have done worse. And many of, I mean, the fact they engage in utter hypocrisy, because I don't know if you guys saw that, but had a chance to see Tug's video on it. But apparently he goes onto Discord and, gets a little flirty on Discord. But according to SJWs, that's like totally wrong. You can't flirt with people. You got to have, as Tug put it, you got to have permission in triplicate before you can flirt with them. It's kind of funny. He calls he calls to like have people. He said, well, if I was accused of that, my friends wouldn't be backing me up. They'd be backing me in the corner. They'd be bringing weapons. Really? Yeah, you probably do need to be knocked upside the head with a weapon or two, Mr. Plant. Um, yeah. Um, but he could sue Emmett for tortures and interference. He could also, kind of sue the convention for breach of contract. So Plant further elaborated that Creation Entertainment's decision to uninvite Vic was based less on the documents related to the voice actor's defamation lawsuit and more on some serious 24/7 back channel comms, and implementations. Ladies were able to handle the falling pieces and make um, Tetrises out of them, he concluded. As of writing, Creation Entertainment has yet to officially announce or comment on Mignana's dismissal from the 55-year mission tour. What do you make of Mignana's removal? Let us know your thoughts on social media or the comments down below. Well, of course they're going to keep quiet because they know full well that anything they say will probably come back and bite them in the rear. That anything if they say anything on it, it could open the door to a lawsuit. Uh, so yeah, so they're gonna keep quiet because they they obviously don't want they don't want they don't want to risk um being dragged into court. It's kind of funny though because as Tug was talking about it too, because as I said, I watched Tug. I kind of went to the stream for a little bit, and I also watched his video on it today twice. It's one of the rare occasions where I'll actually watch a video more than once, but I watched it twice so I can comment on. It's kind of funny how this guy is trying to crucify Vic when he's got some skeletons in the closet. As Tug was talking about it, I was thinking of what happened with the woman at the well. You know, when the Pharisees had brought this first woman to the well where Jesus was, and they tried to get him to say something bad about her, and then he basically he wrote something on the stone there, or in the dust of the stone, and then he said, "Let he who hath no sin cast the first stone." Well, this guy's casting stones, and he's, you know, it'd be fun. It'd be funny to see, it'd be funny to see if people decided, to figuratively stone this guy to death. But yeah. So what do you guys think of all this? I know you guys have been saying some, I think we all agree with Toys there that yeah, we hope that he sees their rear ends off. And of course, I think we're all waiting on bated breath to see if the appeals court will come make a decision soon, because it is going is what he said is probably going on 6 months now that it's been in appeals. So you almost have to wonder if the judges, I either they're really deliberating on it and really examining every piece of evidence, or they want to make absolutely sure that they are not going to get skewed and people are going to try to cancel them, if they decide to move the case forward. So that's what I'm thinking. But again, it's all speculation. The fact is that we do need to be bringing this stuff to court more, because that's the only way these people are going to stop. Is we need to take them to court, and they need to lose in court. Because that's really the only legitimate way we can get them to stop. If it starts hitting them in the pocketbook, like with the convention here, yeah, I mean, if there are people, my recommendation, I don't think anybody here is actually going to that particular convention, but if you were if for anybody who's listening to the show right now, if you were planning on going to the convention in hopes of seeing Vic there, I suggest you try to get your refund, and you show them, hey, look, you don't do that. That's not right. So, anyways, but you guys are still pretty quiet about it. So, unless you guys have some more to say on it, yes, I will probably move on. As for first time in a while that I ranted on something, but only because, of course, we've been following this story for the last couple of years here. You know, I mean, think about it. We this whole thing has been going on for like 2 years now. Um, Vic is still doing fine. He may not be doing much in the voice acting work, which I find it a shame. I kind of wish Sentai would bring him back. Um, Kind of funny because I'm watching the dub of, as part of my Toonami line, I'm watching the dub of the Heroic Legend of Arslan right now, and Vic does the voice of the main villain in there, Hilmes, Prince Hilmes. So um, I'm getting to hear Vic, uh, let's see. Um, all right then. Well, it looks like nobody's wanting to say anything more about this, so I guess we will move on to next article. And we're back up to 4 people. Yay, 4 people. Guess we'll move on to the next article then. All right, so let's see. All right, so this is the next article we're going to look at. TMS Entertainment made some announcements. In regards to, let's see, tons of new information announced, including the release date and second trailer for Megalobox Megalobox 2 Nomad. TMS Entertainment provided a ton of new information, including the release date and a brand new trailer for the upcoming Megalobox 2 Nomad, or Megalobox Nomad anime series. First, they released a brand new trailer, which you can see here. So I think this is probably on YouTube as well, so you can probably go check that out. Right. Um, Along with the trailer, they released a brief description of the series. This is going to be a very rough translation using Google Translator. It begins not only the powerful match scene with the new character Megaro Boxer Chief, character voice Mio Tanaka, um, but also Joe's loneliness and conflict, and his new determination to get away from his friends and lose sight of the way to go. It adds, the story that deeply depicts a character's emotions is also a point of interest. In addition to the new characters, um, the characters that appeared in the previous work 7 years later will also be drawn. Okay. In addition, a play accompanied that colors the main story by Mabanua, um, who handles music, is also included. Stay tuned for Joe's story to move again. So let's see. Anyways, no, nothing new there so far. I guess everybody's still just listening in. Well, that's still cool. Accompanying the trailer, they also released a brand new key visual drawn by the show's director Hiroshi Moriyama. Alongside this key visual, they provided some more details about the upcoming show. Joe's former remnants have disappeared, and Joe has changed his name to Nomad. He is depicted wandering around to find his whereabouts. Also, beside Joe, you can see a hummingbird flapping its beautiful wings. It appears symbolically as a proof of thinking about your hometown in the work. Take a look at the key visual below. So there's a so I think the right here is where the hummingbird is, right by his face there, on the right side of his face. Nomad, not to be confused with no ma'am. A little married children humor there. At least we've consistently been, we're going back and forth between 3 and 4 people. So at least I know you guys are still here. Okay, so that's good. They also went on to provide details about the new characters for the show. Here's what they revealed. Atsushi Miyachi plays the role of boxer Mac, who has achieved a miraculous recovery with cutting edge technology. Uh, Shikahiro Kobayashi plays the role of Sakuma, an entrepreneur who is involved in the return of Mac. Plays the role of boxer chief who influences Joe. In addition to Mio Tanaka, parent and child Mara, character voice um, Nikrayai, um, Faranase, and Mio, character voice Yumi Hino, of the immigrant community where the chief lives. Masaya Fukunishi will play the role of the undefeated active champ Ryu of Megalobox. They explained. TMS Entertainment continued. In addition to Nanako Mori, who plays Yukiko Shirato, Tatsuhisa Suzuki, who plays Kiyo Shirato, and Makoto Tamura, who plays Aragaki, continue to cast from the previous work. They concluded, in addition, Bonjiri, character voice Fukushi Okiai, Recollection Raimi, character voice Noriaki Kanze, Recollection Momoko Tamichi, Oicho, character voice Mitsuho Kambe, Recollection Ami Naito, who were street children in the previous work, appeared in a grown-up form 7 years later. So Nomad here is basically there's a time skip here of about 7 years, similar to like Naruto and other and some other interesting. A previous description read, "In the end, Gearless Joe was the one that reigned as the champion of Megalonia, first ever Megalobox tournament. Um, Fans everywhere were mesmerized by the meteoric rise of Joe, who sprung out from the deepest underground ring to the top in mere 3 months, and without the use of gear. 7 years later, gearless Joe was once again fighting in underground matches, adorned with scars and once again donning his gear, but now known only as Nomad. Finally, the show is expected to air on Tokyo MX beginning on Sunday, April 4th. It will also air on BS11. Oh, wow, they have a channel called BS, huh? Of course, it probably means something different for them than it does here. So, every Tuesday beginning on April 6th. The series will be part of Funimation's Spring 2021 lineup. Um, there you go. There's that story. We're at 41 minutes now. I did see they did put up a newer anime story here. I may come back to that after other stories. Uh, Excuse me a moment, guys. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. and people are still quiet. There's not much to say. Anyways, we'll move on to some of the next stories here. A couple more here. And I did see another story there in the anime section. I may go back to that one depending upon the time. So, yeah, still only three of us here. So, uh, 40. We're coming up on 47 minutes. So, all that being said, here we go. Here, Camilla Zhang exits from position as campaign manager for Scott Snyder's Noctura Kickstarter. See what's going on here. Campaign manager for Scott Snyder and Tony Daniels' crowdfunding efforts for their comic Noctura, formerly Nocturnal. Camilla Zhang has stepped down from her post, but not before leaving an explanation for backers. I remember this girl had some pretty saucy things to say in the past. Um, so, anyway, Zhang wrote in an update on the campaign's page that she was quitting due to personal and professional developments and a family health crisis, and announced that Tyler J will be taking her place. Personal and professional developments and a family health crisis. Okay. He'll be answering questions on here and through the Best Jacket Press Gmail account from here on out, said Zhang, before imploring fans to please be nice to him. Okay. And here's a copy, I guess, of the tweet here. I guess yeah, yeah. He continued, I've gotten to know some of you and didn't want to bid farewell without a proper goodbye and explanation. Some folks might think this is TMI, but I'm a firm believer that Kickstarter is meant to be a place where you're part of a community, she clarified. I'm not a faceless campaign manager or customer service person, though some would like to see me and treat me that way. Okay. Zhang then explained her professional developments while two new jobs. I recently joined Z2 Comics as a full time senior editor, she wrote, and I'm also part of a startup as their chief product officer. On a personal level, she added, oh, and I'm having a kid. So I guess she's pregnant. That's the good news. But noted that conversely, it came with some bad news, as Zhang revealed that my grandma's in the hospital with COVID and my single mom is leaning on me for support. When you add it all up, this camel's got a lot of straws on her back, John continued. As much as I like seeing projects through to the end, I've got to take a break. In a closing side note, she conveyed her displeasure with her customer base. Even when dealing with with a customer service agent, please remember that there is a human on the other side. John began. She continued. If you start your comment or question with a snippy tone, you're not likely to get what you want. You reap what you sow. Get more with honey than vinegar, etc. do unto others. An example of the way she conducts business with customer service followed, complete with an attack on corporations. For example, I'm respectful towards optimum customer service reps, but criticize the company itself, which, in my opinion, is punching up since they are not a two-man operation, but a giant conglomerate that has a literal monopoly in my area, she said. Oh, yeah. So kind of a double-edged blade there. But I digress, she concluded. Just be just be good out there. Okay, guys? You can make the world better and kinder in large ways and small. Zhang also tweeted about her frustrations with customers in February, sharing her opinion that the single most challenging thing about a Kickstarter campaign is handling customer backer service. I'm literally just one person. Yeah, I think I do remember reading something about this. I'm literally just one person liaising with a printer and distributor. I've got backers assuming I don't care of telling me about spelling errors on a project update, wrote Zhang. Um, a week later, she publicly vowed to never again handle customer service for Kickstarter campaigns unless it's my own. Ultimately, Zhang's tenure running the Noctura Kickstarter lasted only 8 months, as Snyder hired the radical anti police advocate and Black Lives Matter supporter to manage the campaign just last August. Yeah, I do remember. I remember reading up on her before, reading some articles here before about her. That she's a pretty loud lefty. Just put it that way. Hmm. Huh. Let's see. What do you make of Zhang's departure from Snyder's Noctura? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Okay, so yeah, sounds like she had a lot. Granted, I may not agree with her on a lot. We're snoozing. Yeah, now we're down to only two people watching. Boy, what happened to everybody? Where'd everybody go? Now, according to this, it says only I'm the only one here on YouTube. Now we're back up to two. Hey, are you guys still there? Man, this is the first time in a while that it's gotten this low. And it's kind of surprising because we're like almost an hour into this, it looks like. And wow, this first time in a while we've been like, and I know Bat goes at his trivia, so it's been a while since we've had this low a number of people. It's hump day. Yep. Now we're back up to three. Hump day, but now we're back up to three now. So yeah, but usually like Leto's here by now. Anon's usually here by now. Usually, well, it just must be one of those days where going a little awry. Hump day. So, anyways, excuse me a moment. Let me go off camera here. I'm showing three. Yeah, it's showing three now. It's been going down to two, now four. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, now we got up to five. So somebody came. Somebody's here. Hello, fifth person on the StreamYard is telling me four are watching on, and we're back down to four on this long. Hopefully people will come soon, but already coming up on an hour. So yes, as toys are saying, it's hump day, so everybody's just trying to get over the hump, right? All right. So, anyways, ready to move on to the next story then? Hmm. And I got the thing on StreamYard here telling me that the connection is unstable. The connection is fairly okay. Now there we go. So y'all still here? Uh, Now YouTube's saying five, so apparently a fifth person's come in. Maybe another lurker. Now they're back down to four. We keep going back and forth between four and five right now. Um, anyway, so get on to this next article then. Let's see. Jim Storonko comes under fire for tweet referring to COVID-19 as the Chinese pandemic. Well, it did originate in Wuhan, people. Um, Jim Storonko recently found himself the target of a politically correct mob after users on social media took offense to a tweet wherein the Will Eisner comic book Hall of Fame artist referred to the COVID-19 virus as the Chinese pandemic. Oh boy, here we go. More SJW tears. Duranko's work is known by comic book fans and collectors around the globe, with his most iconic work being the interior pencils he contributed to Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in 1968. Outside of his work on Nick Fury, Steranko has also provided interior and cover work for both DC and Marvel, working on pieces for such iconic characters as Catwoman, Superman, Black Panther, the X-Men, Daredevil, and the Fantastic Four. Additionally, only not only has he also seen his work published in heavy metal, but Steranko um, has also had his art featured in galleries around the world, most notably um, at the Louvre in France. So I guess right here is some of his work right here. It looks like Reed Richards in some kind of weird get up there, an exosuit. Ah, Solid and Leto are finally here. Yay! Hey, Mike, Toys, Woody. Hey, Leto, how you doing, man? I'll be listening while I'll be driving to work. All right. Hey, Leto. Hey, Solid, you're late. Uh, Mike, you break your flow of the show worrying about the view. Try to ignore it. I generally do, but hey, Leto. Hey, Solid. I was trolling the Young Turk stream. Oh, okay. That's why you were late, huh? Well, you missed out on some interesting stories. I did actually talk about Vic earlier in the broadcast, guys. I read the Bounding into Comics article on him and gave some commentary. So you guys missed out on that. Um, I forget they exist. So yeah, well, it's good to see you guys here. In the meantime, so we're up to five now, so that's cool. Um, anyways, right now we're talking about Jim Steranko, who apparently has been getting in some trouble with some SJWs because he's calling COVID the Chinese pandemic. So here we go. This is the article we're doing right now. So um, I think we had like four articles, and I did. Let's see, did the Camilla Zhang article just before, and then we did a anime article where we looked into some stuff as well. So, anyways, on March 8th, Staranko tweeted, "The Chinese pandemic has stolen a year from our lives. I felt as much as anyone, those who know me and have hung out with me at shows know the importance I lay on personal appearances and connecting at gigs with fans from every corner of the USA. Will be ready when you are." Shortly after its posting, Steranko's tweet garnered a mixed bag of responses, with most of them being nasty or disrespectful. DK move, Stanko, um, said comic book author Kwanzaa Osayefo, whose account bears a blue check mark for some inexplicable reason. Your creative contributions don't allow you to use exact racist language. And stupid people. Leading to attacks on Asian people instead of spreading spoiled mayo across the internet. Consider why a country as great as the USA didn't protect its citizens from a virus. Well, dude, if you don't like it so much, leave. Leave, Kwanzaa. Talking Simpsons co host Henry Gilbert tweeted, Jack Kirby would kick the beep bleep out of you for this, and you deserve it. I think you all deserve to get the bleep beat out of you. So, independent author Bob Greenwade chimed in and wrote, "No kidding, making those personal appearances are so important, Jim. Yet you just torpedoed your chances of doing many of them for the foreseeable future by making an openly well, it's not a racist declaration because it did originate in China. It did. Okay, dummies. We got some lively conversation going on now here. Let's see what you guys have been talking about here because it looks like you guys started getting a little more lively here. Let's see now. Okay, I'm driving now, guys. I'll have to rewatch it later, Mike. Yeah, I'm sorry you guys missed out. You didn't get here early enough. At Mike Walton. I was spamming MAGA, and they couldn't keep up deleting. Oh my god, dude, you're bad. What are you What are you trying to do? You trying to get the lion to eat you or something like that? Like that cartoon I always talk about. A little guy with the little derby hat and the little cane. He keeps poking at the. What are you doing? Trying to get yourself eaten there? Solid. Trying to get yourself devoured. Ah, that actually, that's what I do on my gaming streams. I focus on the game and mostly ignore the chat. How is it racist when that is where the virus exactly solid exactly I you keep hearing me say it every time every time they say it's racist. It did actually originate in China, you dummies. Now whether it was engineered or it just happened to incubate there or whatever doesn't matter. It still started in China, you dummies. And the people I'm calling dummies are the SJWs who are calling it racist. Okay, I think we all agree that SJWs are dummies. They're certified bona fide dummies, and we use dummies as opposed to I'm sure there's a very similar word that comes to mind. And guys, as always, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares that help get the algorithm up there, and hopefully we can get some more people in here. Oh, I already read that. Okay, but yeah, you're right on the button there, solid. It's not racist. It's them being stupid. Yep. Um, Anyways, let's get back to this, and of course they have to show us the actual tweet as evidence. Former Marvel and DC writer Tony Lee would drop a pearl of wisdom replying to Staranko. Jesus, Jim, I know we've lost a year of our lives, but naming it that is reckless and quite honestly sad to see, considering your platform. Happy to chat to you about how casual racism isn't needed anymore and how you used to be better. Will be ready when you are. When you are. Oh boy. However, Steranko was not without his defenders, including Alterna Comics founder Peter Simeti. And we've heard of Peter Simeti. He was a guy. If you guys remember, I think because I think Flash talked about Yellow Flash talked about this guy. He was the guy with that one night was streaming, and the cops came to his door because somebody, I guess, made some kind of complaint about him or something like that. Um, or said something that caused the cops. Let's see. Peter Simeti, um, who in Steranko's defense asserted that everyone commenting angrily must have forgotten Dr. Li Wenlong's death, how hard he was ignored by Chinese authorities, and how hard the Chinese government worked to cover it all up. For anyone that wasn't to say I'm racist against Chinese people, I'm half Chinese, he concluded. So, yeah, the sheer stupidity of it. And then here's something. I guess this is part of the tweet he had. Li Wenlong, coronavirus death of Wuhan doctor sparks anger. In response to comic book artist, in response to comic book artist Mahmoud Assur, who tweeted to Steranko, "One would expect you to be wiser than this. Why perpetuate baseless hate?" Flying Sparks author John Delarose retort, "What baseless hate? Hate of a virus? I think there's a good basis for hating the virus." Oh, that's an interesting back and forth. Yeah, for SJWs and hard lefties, um, COVID's a wet dream. COVID's a wet dream to them because it screwed America up. It screwed Donald Trump up. So, bat goats here. SJWs are poop heads. Agreed. Evening, gents. Hey, bat goat. Hope all went well with your trivia tonight. I actually started out the show talking about the Vic story. Um, Went through Bounding into Comics articles and also made some commentary on from talking about like Tug's stream and video today. So Peter is a good dude. He drops in to EBS chats often. And then Solid saying to Batco, I was trolling the Young Turks for it was fun. Nicely done. Young hearts be free tonight. Time is on your side. Don't ever let them put you down. Don't let them push you around. Don't ever let them change your point of view. That's from the song Young Turks by Rod Stewart. We won first and second in both trivia games, just like last week. After a month of losing, it feels good. Well, you're on a bit of a hot streak there, my friend. Hi, you back from Woody. Let's see. Hey, Batgoat. Woody, Leto, Solid, Toys. Yeah. As always, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares you guys can help me out with. See if we can get some more people in here. Anyways, getting back to the story. As a personal side, I met Jim Steranko. Okay, hold on. Oh, I guess this is the author speaking now. Um, author speaking now. As a personal side, I met Jim Steranko last year at the Wizard World Comic Con in Cleveland. Of the entire weekend, Jim Steranko was one of the most gracious people with his time and interaction with fans. He's a man's man who looks you in the eye, gives you a firm handshake, and lights up a room with his smile. He is, let's see, last year, huh? So I guess at Wizard World Comic Con in Cleveland, they were allowing people to handshake each other. Okay, that's cool. Uh, okay. He is the type of person that enjoys putting a smile on people's faces and being around people. Period. Listening to Jim's anecdotes about his experiences, it's clear that he's lived through things even a comic book hero would be envious of. Jim Steranko is certainly not a hateful person, and he is a man of class and dignity. Yeah, it's the SJWs who are full of hate and horse manure, or as Batgoat put it, they're a bunch of poop heads. What these Twitter exchanges show us is that no matter who you are, you're a target to be mocked, harassed, and bullied for your worldview, especially if your views are anywhere right of the extreme progressive leftist worldview, aka Hitler wannabes. That's what that's what the progressives are nowadays. They're a bunch of Hitler wannabes. As for Jim Steranko, I can picture him with that trademark wink and smile saying, "Kid, the classics aren't going anywhere." Indeed, Jim. And we all know that's true, right? We've been looking at some classics, right? On Friday night. So, what do you make of the backlash against Steranko? Let us know. Well, I think it's stupid. I think a lot of people think it's stupid. So, yeah. So there were four stories that I did tonight. We knew we'd be spending some time on the Vic story, so let's see. Hey, Batgoat ATC saying hi, and then let's see now. I am a man of ass and smugness. Wow, we got 6 people in here. Yay, 6 people. Great. So, as always, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes. That does help with the algorithm. So, I did, as I said, I did. I only had planned to do 4 stories tonight because I figured we'd be going a little long with the Vic story. So I did see another story pop up as I was going into the anime section. That think about. Let's see where we at right now. It's coming up on an hour 20. So I guess I can hit that story real quick. Um, one more story for the late comers. And if you guys want to catch some of what we were talking about earlier with the Vic story, more than welcome to go back and rewatch the stream afterwards. Okay, so this one just kind of popped up when I went to the other anime story before. So um, let's see. What we got here? Oh yeah. Oh hey, we had a comics question tonight. The answer was Lois Lane. Ah, you were able to get it too because we've been focusing so much on comics, huh? I'm not bad, good. I thought you were doing, say, chaps. Going to say chat. Laugh out loud. All right. So, anyways, we'll hit this one more story here. We still got a little bit of time here. Just coming up on. We're just past the hour 20 mark here. So, hit one more story here. Here it is. Netflix reportedly edits Demon Slayer anime for. This is the anime censorship section for South Korea following complaints over Tanjiro's Rising Sun earrings. South Korean audiences will reportedly receive an edited version of the Demon Slayer anime featuring a change to Tanjiro's Hanafuda earrings. Um, Following complaints from local audiences regarding their design resembling the Rising Sun flag of Imperial Japan. Okay. As as reported by Japanese news outlet Daily Shincho and machine translated by Google Translate, the recent backlash towards Tanjiro's earrings began prior to South Korean release of Demon Slayer, Demon Train, as Korean anti-Japanese groups believed that the anime's use of the rising sun evoked war criminal flag imagery. One South Korean citizen group, Vank, um, even went so far as to request that Netflix not only offer an explanation for the design's appearance in Demon Slayer, but also provide a detailed disclaimer expounding on the history of Japan's historical actions within the country. Oh, it sounds like we got some SJWs at work again. The strong anti Japanese sentiments held by many South Koreans stem from the country's then unified with its northern neighbor as one singular Korea, time as an occupied territory of Japan, particularly during World War II. Um, During the global conflict, Japanese forces inflicted numerous atrocities upon Korean citizens, which included medical experimentation at Japan's infamous Unit 731, which I would guess would be their version of Area 51 here in the States. And hundreds of thousands of people forcibly conscripted into service as either laborers, men, or unwilling, quote unquote, comfort women. Yeah. Let's see. Um, as a result of these actions, many Korean citizens from both the now divided North and South territories have continued to hold a historically based grudge against their eastern neighbor, well past the latter's World War II defeat by the United States in 1945. Despite the sordid history of the Rising Sun's use as the flag of Imperial Japan, the design was first introduced into Japanese culture in 1870 and has since the war retained cultural relevance as a symbol of national pride. In fact, the design is still used in the naval ensign of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, while a gold bordered variation has since been adopted by the modern day Japan Self Defense Forces and Ground Self Defense Forces. Noting that the streaming giant has been caught up in the turmoil surrounding the earrings design since March, Daily Chincho further explained that presumably as a result of the uproar, Netflix will change the upload of the series to one featuring a modified image of Tanjiro's earrings. Of course, because you got a bunch of people whining about it. Let's see. Let's get caught up on some of these. Let's see. I need a coffee drink. Falling asleep here. Uh, well, you had a pretty exhausting night winning trivia there, that goat. Hey, just got off heading to a lady friend's for a smoke. I'll catch y'all. Yeah, well, hopefully you might want to go back because I did talk about Vic Anon earlier in the censorship equals sail the high seas. By the way, sailing over the bounty main. Let's see. Have a good one, everyone. Get some Naruto boy. Okay. Um, seems reasonable to if there's an issue with war crimes. Mhm. Comfort woman was a woman forced to serve as soldiers, basically a giant R camp. Yeah, basically you're. I could even figure that out based on the word. But then again, I think that term was used in Korean too. Um, they had some stuff going on. You ever watched MASH? The Imperial Japanese Army was worse than the Nazis. My opinion, they did not recognize Geneva Convention and always machine gunned lifeboats after sinking a ship. They killed over 80% of all POWs. They took absolute savage animals. The world the world has forgotten. Anna. Yeah, just because though in the past those people were Anon is gonna blow some ladies back out. Laugh out loud. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Solid. Spicy. Anyways, back to the article here. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, yeah. Okay. This modified version of Demon Slayer will ostensibly be the same one provided to China, as the version seen by Chinese audiences was similarly changed for nearly the exact same reasons. In other words, the Japanese imagery, of course. In this version, Tanjiro's earrings feature the rising sun graphic above four vertical lines and a mountain, rather than the traditional rising sun. Okay, I'm not even sure how to really tell them apart, but anyways, um, however, it seems that most South Koreans do not share such anti-Japanese belief, as the recently released Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train, has thus far grossed over $9 million US dollars following its January 27th release. This box office gross is an undoubtedly impressive feat amidst the numerous restrictions placed on theaters worldwide due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which ultimately could not have been achieved without an outpouring of fan support. YouTuber Hero Hey also comments, "Don't be mad. What do you make of Demon Slayer's South Korean specific changes? Let us know. Well, what do you guys think of that? So that's pretty much all the main. That last one was an added bonus story because that one just kind of popped up after I'd already made the decisions of which. Okay, so let's see now. Laugh out loud, solid. In Japan, they tend to fantasize the Germans of World War II, ongoing global lie. I wonder if the song "House of the Rising Sun" is banned from radio play. Based on what I've seen of this anime, it's nonstop Japanese imagery. They might as well ban it in Korea. Yeah, you make a good point there. It's like there's a lot of interesting interplay between Japanese, Chinese, and Koreans. Of course, Backo and I have touched upon it a little bit when we look back at when we look back at the comics of the Golden Age there, and how many times, particularly the Chinese, were addressed. You know, so anyways, so that's basically all the stories for tonight. So we actually got five in. I originally only slated four, so we're just past an hour and a half mark here. So yeah, so I went through the bounding into comics article on Vic. It was actually in their celebrity section. We did talk a little bit about Mr. Plant, which I'm sure there are a number of people who would just love to uh, do his name to him, if you get what I mean. Uh, who's our guy? Slam Bradley? What's his name? Well, I think his real name's Samuel Bradley. Well, part of the reason they call him Slam, of course, is because he's kind of one of the more gruff detectives. He's kind of like, he's often described as kind of a barroom fighter type of detective guy you don't really want to mess with. I mean, you saw how he was built, so um, but if you mean the villain in there, it was Fuyan Yui, who is the villain in so anyways, yeah, so we're coming up on an hour 35 now. Um let's see. Slam Bradley would have slammed the virus back to China by now. Yeah, more than likely. Or maybe him, Crimson Avenger, Speed Saunders, Batman, Boy Commandos, the whole lot of them would have probably done that. Just in case you were wondering, those are a number of guys who are featured who were featured in the early days of Detective Comics. So when it was still an anthology. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? Oh boy, I'm looking on the I'm looking at the looking on my notifications on Facebook here, or not Facebook, but YouTube. So Nick's got a very interesting stream tonight. Um, his stream, I guess the title of his stream, John Roberts sucks. Emmett Plant is a sexual predator. And stop apologizing, Winston Marshall. So that sounds like it's gonna be interesting. Of course, I know he's been critical of John Roberts of late because, like in particular, I know he did a video the other day on how John Roberts was like the lone dissenter in a free in basically a First Amendment case. Um, well, I'll send. Okay, let's see. Some of this stuff came up here. Did you convince Tug to come to the stream? Um, I hope he will. I mean, I will send him. I will send him like the link to the YouTube link, so he can come see it. I'll send him like what I do with Backup when I send him the StreamYard link. Um, I hope he'll visit. Um, there's not much I can do to convince. I mean, Tug has said before he would love to come and check out the streams, but he just hasn't been able to. And I would love to have him. You know, um, I don't know if he'd be up for actually coming in and participating like in the StreamYard, but I'd be happy with that. But I hope Tug knows he's always welcome. Um, but even if he just wants to come in and just watch and just hang out with everybody in the chat, that's cool too. Tug's a good guy. Tug is one of the guys who actually inspired me to do this. Okay, along with Yellow Flash and Toys and a few others. Okay, when all the Vic stuff was going on, I've talked about this before. Tug's a cool guy, and I'm sure that if we could get him in here with a bunch of us and just have a good old fashioned bull session on niche, like classic comic, not not the SJW garbage we're dealing with right now, but looking back, I'm sure if Tug had a chance to listen to some of my readings of some of these comics, sure he'd probably have some commentary on some of it as well. You know, given some of his background, not just in the not with comics, but also, even as a formerly as a therapist. But but that's you know, you know, Tug is a very cool guy, a very smart man, and I do believe he really adds to any conversation he's a part of, and that southern drawl of his just makes him even that much more appealable or appealing. So let's see. Didn't know he was fighting cancer. Glad he's in. Well, I don't think none of us did because remember he hasn't been on in a while. Back go. Remember we were talking about that, like you know. But yeah, that sucks that he got cancer. But hopefully, again, I hope we can get him to drop by and hang out. Do something a little different than talk about SJW crap. You know, and yes, I said crap because that's what it is, crap. looked like Toy Bounty Hunters has dropped off streaming again. Yeah, it's kind of funny because, and I also, yeah, and it's kind of funny because Hero Hay kind of said something because Hay put up a video recently too that people were wondering what's been going on with him because he hadn't streamed in a while either, and he hasn't been doing as many videos. Apparently, Hero Hayes got some issues going on too. I guess his father's sick, and he's been trying to be with his father more. So hopefully, hopefully, our thoughts and prayers will go out to Tug and to Hero and everybody in the community. Just So I do hope everything is all right with TB with John and Toy Bounty Hunters. So, um, but anyways, so yeah, so for Friday, yeah, Tug did say drop him a line, so I will basically attempt to do that. I will like send him the YouTube link, and hopefully he'll join us. And then if he does, I'll let him know that if he wants it, if he wants to join us in the studio as well, I'll extend that invitation too to him. But I would just at the very least like to just get him in here and just to watch and just take a break from all the cancel culture and SJW garbage. Just as Batgoat, that I think the term Batgoat uses a lot. Is apropos. Being able to just geek out, not worry about all the baloney. So, all right. Well, now we're at an hour and 42, so I think it is about a good time to start wrapping up. Unless you guys have anything else you want to ask or say. So if you guys have nothing more to ask about or say, I think it'd be a good time to start wrapping up. And I'll ask, are you guys ready for this day in Nietzsche history? I'm gonna fire one up in Anon's honor. Okay, history. Okay. So without no further ado, then guys, I once again thank you guys for being with me tonight. I appreciate all the likes and shares. Um, I did see that some more comments came up, or at least one more. Yes, Mike, I'm ready for Nietzsche history. Okay, so we're only gonna basically there's two news items tonight, or two history items. Sorry, two history items. Yay, history! uh, and they're both in 1951. So we're just so I'll put as I always say, 1951 is just today is just so nice that we're gonna hit it twice. As today is Wednesday, March the 10th, 2021. Let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. And first off, we're gonna we're gonna head back to 1951. On this day in 1951, Harvey Comics would release on the newsstands Blondie Comics number 30. Now, this started as Blondie Comics from David McCabe Publications, but then I guess Harvey picked up the title. So on this date in 1951, the 30th issue of Blondie Comics Monthly went on sale. It went on sale for 10 cents, which was 32 pages. Um, and it was published by Harvey Comics. So, and as I was saying, 1951 is just so nice that we got to hit it twice. And this is going to be a very interesting title here. As also on this date in 1951, the Chuck Jones directed Warner Brothers short Bunny Hugged premiered on this date in 1951. Um, this was a 1951 Merry Melodies short directed by Chuck Jones and Michael Maltese. The short was released on March 10th and stars Bugs Bunny. Bunny Hugged is essentially a reworking of Jones' 1948 short Rabbit Punch, substituting wrestling for boxing. So the Bunny Hugged here was basically Bugs Bunny getting into the wrestling ring. So on this date, 1951, the Chuck Jones directed um, Looney Tunes Merry Melody short Bunny Hugged was released into theaters. So with all that being said, guys, I thank you once again for joining me. Don't forget, Friday is, of course, the night that Batgo and I do go through comics history. We'll be looking at March of 1937. Hopefully, and of course, those of you who also know Doug, if you can also kind of let him know that you'd like to see him on my stream as well. If you guys have his his messenger on his channel there. Um, you guys might want to let him know that he is invited and welcome, and hopefully we can get him in here. I do plan on sending him the YouTube link, and if he would like to join me and Bat Goat in the studio, he'd be more than welcome to, of course. Um, and if not, if he just wants to just sit back and watch, that's cool too. So, anyways, I thank you guys again, and I bid you all good night, and I will see you all tomorrow, and hopefully, maybe, we'll hear something about Vic's appeals case. Maybe, we never know. Anyways, guys, good night. Bye.